After thoroughly shuffling the deck of playing cards, the magician invites the participant to cut the deck in half. The magician then writes down a prediction and places it directly in front of the participant, face down. From this moment forward, for the rest of the duration of this trick, the magician does not touch the playing cards. He invites the participant to check the card that they cut to. We have a 5 of spades. This is an instruction for the participant to deal 5 playing cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th playing card is placed on the instruction playing card. The next card is another instruction, the 4 of hearts. The participant does the same again. 1, 2, 3, dealing the 4th playing card to the 4 of hearts. Again, the next card is an instruction, this time the 9 of clubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The 9th card dealt in the 9 of clubs. One final instruction, which is the 3 of diamonds. 1, 2, and the 3rd card is dealt to the 3 of diamonds. We now have 4 completely random playing cards. The magician invites the participant to look at the prediction where they find all of the aces. He then invites his participant to turn over the 4 selected playing cards. The ace of spades, the ace of hearts, the ace of clubs, and the ace of diamonds. I am Daniel Madison and this is Instruction Aces. Hi, I'm Daniel Madison. Welcome back to the Madhouse. Charlie Madison and I truly appreciate you choosing to spend a bit more time with us today. So, in today's video, I'm going to teach you a devastating card trick that is actually very easy to learn and even easier to perform. In fact, you hand the deck to your participant, to your very own Susan Sausage, and she does almost everything. Now the trickery, the deception, the devilry happens up front in the preparation, but as soon as you hand that deck of playing cards over to Susan Sausage, everything's already done. And when she turns those 4 playing cards over that she dealt to, she's going to find 4 of a kind of your choice that you predicted right from the very beginning. To show you and teach you this trick today, I'm going to be using the Champion Deck series. This is the Champion Deck from my friend Darren Williams from the Williams Playing Card Company. This is a beautiful deck of playing cards, a tremendous compliment to my collection. This one I've been waiting for the longest time. This looks so beautiful at the card table, especially the new black card table. This deck is on Kickstarter right now. We're going to talk about this deck a little bit more, but for now, get yourself a deck of playing cards. Join me at the card table. I am Daniel Madison. This is The Instructor. It is a very common misconception, the idea and the thought that self-working card tricks are just for beginners and just for newcomers, and no expert sleight of hand artist would ever use a self-working card trick. This is absolute nonsense. As a magician, as performing magicians, especially as people who use objects like playing cards, the more that we can invest our ideas and our creative performances into tricks where we don't touch the playing cards, or at least we touch them the least amount possible. The more tricks we can find like that, the more real the magic is going to be. Magic is ruined by the presence of the magician. I believe the magician, his only job is to turn up and deliver an experience, offer an experience, and not interrupt that experience. When you see magicians, and this is sadly very common, who they're doing magic to get attention and so that they can say, oh, look at me, look how cool I am, look how good I am, or the one-upmanship of it, like the idea of the magician who does magic to be better than everybody else, almost like the bully fighting back. All of a sudden he's more powerful, he's stronger. All these are very negative and very bad ideas to bring into, especially the creative process, not just for tricks, but for your character, for your person as a magician. A magic trick, a moment of magic, is between the moment and the participant. It is about the participant's relationship with what's happening, with the experience. The magician is just the person who turns up and provides that and offers that and delivers that experience. as soon as that's happened, he should step back and he should allow that experience to be soaked up by his audience. Anytime that a magician makes the moment all about him, the moment he makes everybody say, look at me, look how cool I am, look how impressive I am, he has failed as a magician. When you see magicians, or at least when you used to see magicians perform a trick and then keep a stone face and then walk away, like we can associate that with David Blaine. That wasn't any kind of arrogance, and it wasn't any kind of on purpose kind of performance. Yes, it is a part of his performance, but the reason he keeps a straight face is because he doesn't want to influence the reaction of the participant. He doesn't want to be the one, like you see magicians when they do a trick, they're more amazed than the actual audience because they think that the way that they act, the way that they respond to the trick, that instructs the audience to do the same thing. If you keep a blank face and you take a few steps back, you allow that participant, that audience to embrace their own experience and take part in their own experience without the horrible magician interrupting the moment. I take this line, I borrow this line from Luc Germain, the most impressive, one of the greatest performance artists that I'm lucky enough to be alive at the same time as Luc. He's phenomenal, and he has this one line that says that something strange happened here. I love that, and it's a big part of my manifesto to turn up and create and deliver an experience that has my participant, my audience, going away saying, I experienced something very strange happened. So if we can work towards that, then we stop making it about us and we make it about the magic. We make it about the moment itself. We don't make it about us. At the most, they might go away and say, I met this strange person today. But by all means, I don't want my audience or my participant to go away and say, I met this magician, he was cool, he looked like this and he did this. That's kind of failing as a magician. You want to be somewhat invisible. You want to offer a moment that they can take away and talk about. And by all means, forget about you. They might forget your name. They might forget who you are, but that's not a bad thing as long as they remember the moment and remember the trick. Self-working tricks have a naturally built-in attribute which allows the magician to achieve that without even trying, because as soon as the preparations happen and as soon as the devilry and the deception is all set up, ready, and we hand the deck over, at this point we can step back and we can allow the participant, with of course our instruction, to experience magic. Not experience a magician, but to experience magic. Charlie, have I spoke about this enough? Let's get to the trick. So this is a beautiful deck of playing cards, by the way. My friend Dan Williams, be proud of yourself, Dan. This is an incredible deck of playing cards. It's almost the perfect deck of playing cards for a card table, for card games, for a casino. That beautiful dark red and these white dots on there, they're really piercing. They look brighter than white because of the way that you've contrasted that black around there. I guess this is starting to feel like a bit of a deck review, and I guess it kind of is. There's a link in the video description to these. This has been a very successful Kickstarter campaign, and if you check out the website, the link in the description, there's a white version of this deck that is it's heavenly, it's beautiful. And Dan even made these little deck cardigans, or is it a deck sock jacket? What do you think that is, Charlie? Actually, this would make a pretty good face mask for Charlie. There you go, Charlie. Now you don't have to worry about the virus. Yeah, get some of these. I promise you won't regret getting these. So there's a few interesting things about this deck. I'm actually in this deck. My King of Diamonds is in this deck, which is an incredible honor. What a beautiful thing to be included in this deck. I'm very fortunate enough to know Dan and to have been here at the very start of the creative process for designing this deck of playing cards, and offer my help and my assistance in that process. But what Dan has done with this deck since I first saw it up until now is this really is in my top 5 dead or alive of all time decks of playing cards. So I'm going to use the aces. This deck is shuffled and all the aces are together because of the last time I did this trick. I'm going to use the aces for this trick. Once you have set this trick up, you hand the deck over to Susan, to your participant, and you never have to touch the playing cards again. You do have to give one instruction that's repeated 4 times, but as long as you've set the deck up correctly, then you are golden. So I'm going to start with the aces in a very specific order: spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds. Now I'm going to shuffle the deck, and then I'm just going to look at the top playing card, and I'm looking for a spade. So I probably wouldn't go with a 2. You'll see why. Let's go with a 7. You'll see why I wouldn't go with a 2 when we get into it. So I'm going to start with a 7 of spades. I put the 7 down here, and I'm going to count 7 playing cards. Now the ace is going to be the 7th playing card. So this is the instruction playing card. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then put the ace of spades at the 7th position. Now I do the same thing again with the heart. So I'm looking for a heart. So let's use 9 of hearts is a good card. So I take the 9, I do the same thing, but I'm going to put this on top of the ace of spades. 9. So now I'm going to count 9 playing cards, putting the ace of hearts at position 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ace of hearts at 9. Same thing again with the club. Let's use the 7 of clubs. So we have 2 7s. So the 7 of clubs now goes here. Now I'm going to count 7, and remember the ace of clubs is going to be position 7. So I count 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then this is the 7th, the ace of clubs. One last time with the diamond. Let's find a diamond. We won't use a 2. Let's find a lower number if we can. Let's use a 3 of diamonds. So the 3 of diamonds. So now I go 1, 2, 3, ace of diamonds. Now I put the rest of the playing cards on top like this. I straighten up and I keep the deck in this order. Now the trick is ready to go, ready to perform. The beginning of this trick and the way that we lead up to giving this deck to Susan Sausage, to our participant, is vital. It is very important that you know how to execute some false shuffles or a deck switch. My preferred method for this would be to have a deck switch, to have 2 of these decks. One that's in order, in a cooler position, so I'm holding it out as the cold deck. They're shuffling the deck, and when I get it back I do a deck switch. Right, pretend that was a deck switch. So they believe, my participant believes, that she has just shuffled this deck of playing cards. If you don't want to do that, by the way, there's a ton of deck switch videos on my YouTube channel. I'll leave some links in the video description. If you don't want to do that, we need to do some false shuffles, some false cuts. Again, there are a ton of those lessons on my YouTube channel, link in video description. You want to be executing some false shuffles because it's very important that our participant understands and believes that this deck is shuffled and random. And a really nice moment and a really nice thing that we can do with this deck is spread it face up before the moment, because we can prove or we can show to Susan that it is a shuffled deck of playing cards. Even if it's a few simple cuts, it's going to be better than nothing. A few simple false cuts. I won't teach any in this video. I'm really hoping that you know how to do some. If not, pause this video, go and learn some, come back. Also, at this point, I want to be able to ideally do either a cross-cut force or a dribble force. Now, if you know me as well as most people watching this do, you'll know that the dribble force is my favorite force of all time, and it's a very simple idea of doing this. Remember, I've got the 7 of spades on top. I'm going to cut about a quarter of the deck from the bottom and put it on top, and I'm going to hold a big nasty thumb break here. Now I'm going to dribble the cards to the table and ask my participant to call stop. Wherever she calls stop, I'm going to let go at this gap. So I've just done my 4 shuffles, and now I say, Susan, call stop at any point. Wherever she calls stop, I'm going to stop here, and it's going to feel like that's a stopping point. Again, I'm not going to teach the dribble force in detail in this video, which, Charlie, can you put that on my to-do list, please? Because I do want to teach the dribble force in great detail. If not, if you don't want to do that one, you can do a cross-cut force or a variation of this, a modification. I can ask Susan to cut the deck in half and just leave it cut in half. So she cuts it here, and now I wait and I buy myself some time and I say, okay, so let's just run over this. We've shuffled the playing cards. they're in a completely random order. Now you've just cut to a playing card. Now when I go back to the both packets, I lift them both up and I say you cut to this one, the 7 of spades. Really, this is the card that she cut to, but by buying that time and adding a little bit of a moment between the cut and the reveal, I can have her believe that this is the card that she cut to. If not, just do the cross-cut force, which is the same thing. Cut the deck here, put this on top, like this. Now buy a few moments by saying we just shuffled and you cut to this playing card. Now turn this card over and it looks like she's cut to this playing card in the middle when really it's the top playing card. So once she's done this, once she's cut, and we established the 7 of spades, it's at this point where we don't have to touch the playing cards again. We don't have to do anything again at this point because it's all down to Susan, and the deck also instructs Susan. It instructs her next move, so we don't even have to say now deal this, because the deck is doing everything for us. This is why I believe that this kind of semi-self-working trick is such a beautiful trick, because I can sit back and I can stand back and the magic happens. Wait on a minute, wait on a second, I forgot something. Right at the very beginning, we can write down a prediction. We can, once we shuffle, in fact, why didn't I think of this? Let's go back to the cut. So Susan, please cut the deck in half anyway. She cuts here, and now I say I'm going to write down a prediction, because this is buying me time so she forgets which card she cut to. Now I'm going to write down, without her seeing, all of the mother flipping, all of the aces. I'm not going to let her see this. I'm going to put it down here. Now I'm going to say, right, you cut the deck to this position. Look, the 7 of spades. This isn't the card that we're going to use. This is an instruction card. So this is the instruction card. So we're going to ask Susan to place this card face up here or anywhere on the surface, and we're going to say now deal 7 playing cards, and the 7th playing card, deal it face down on top of the 7 of spades. You don't necessarily have to do it that specifically, but I'm telling you this for a reason, for the trick that's going to follow this. We're going to stick to the same pattern. You can have your participant deal it face up or face down. That really is up to you, as long as we deal that subject card face down here. So it'll be card number 7. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you're going to have Susan put it here, and just for reference, just so we can see, we now have the ace of spades on top of the 7 of spades. Next, we say the next card on top of the deck is another instruction, so deal it face up here. So now we have 9. So they do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the 9th card, deal it on top of this card. And just for reference, ace of hearts, we now have the ace of hearts on top of a heart playing card. You can see where this is going. The next one is an instruction, 7 of clubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, ace of clubs. The next one is the final instruction, 3 of diamonds. 1, 2, 3, and it's the ace of diamonds. Now we can get rid of all the disc cards, put them all aside, and we can say, look, these cards, these 4 cards are very, very random. The spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds. I want to show you my prediction. All of the aces. Please turn over those 4 playing cards. Ace of spades, ace of hearts, ace of clubs, ace of diamonds. At this point, the trick is pretty much over at this point, and the times that I've done this trick, I did this trick yesterday, and I didn't have to point out that this was spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds, because the guy I showed it to saw that and he picked up on that, and he assumed that this was just a coincidence, just a part of the magic moment rather than something that I had created. So that is the instructor or instruction aces. I don't usually like to call it instruction aces because the variations, and you don't always have to use it, the aces of course, but there's a really nice variation which is using these 4 playing cards and getting rid of the prediction where we don't have to use the prediction. So let's take a look at that right now. We're going to use the same playing cards, but I can't use the 7 of clubs because I have to have all these cards as different numbers. So let's use the 6 of clubs. So once we've got our 4 playing cards out, spades, hearts, clubs, diamonds, we want to find the pair of these playing cards. So the pair of the 7 of spades would be the 7 of clubs. The pair of the 7 of 9 would be the 7 would be the 9 of diamond, 6 of spades, and 3 of hearts. So now we've got our pairs, we've got our cards that we need, and we've got our instruction playing cards. So we're going to do the same thing again that we did in the setup. So 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to put the other 7. Now the 9, the next instruction card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, another instruction card, 6 of clubs, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the final one, the 3 of diamonds. 1, 2, 3. Put these on top. I'm now ready to go again for the second variation of this trick. So I start by doing a few force shuffles. I can invite Susan to cut the deck for me, or I can do the dribble force. That was more of a clump force. I love it. Right, now we're in position for the first instruction card, 7 of spades. I'll fly through this because you already know what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Instruction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Instruction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Instruction. 1, 2, 3. That felt like a real Alan Partridge kind of moment. Instruction. So now all that's left to do is the same thing, turn the cards over, and in this case it's not a prediction that's been written down, but the prediction is right there in front of us. Black 7, red 9, black 6, red 3. I am Daniel Madison. This was The Instructor. Let's get back to the green card table. If you remember a few videos back when I built the card tables, I failed to complete the green table because I couldn't fix the black leather bumper back to the green base. I reached out to you, I asked you, and you showed up. So many people in the comment section were recommending similar things, which led me to make a purchase of
Sew Glue.
Or is it pronounced So Glue? So this is a liquid glue for all fabrics. So this should help me stick that black bumper down to the green base. Let's find out if it's gonna work. So I've just applied all the glue, which smells like fish. Just for reference, if you want to buy any, it smells like fish, which is good for Charlie. So I've just squirted it everywhere, and I've pulled the top over, and I'm just gonna let it dry, and hopefully when it's finished. So these things don't always go to plan, but you have to roll with it, and I'm not going to put that green table to waste. I'm still going to use it for an upcycle project. Perhaps I'll make a red one, we'll have to wait and see. Speaking of tables and upgrades, I managed to get the legs on the pink table. Charlie, do we have that video montage too? Yes, roll VT. So these are steel table legs, black steel table legs. I'll leave a link to these in the video description. Here's what they look like. Strong, non-intrusive. Charlie, why is it wobbling? So the pink three-legged table, it does have a slight wobble to it, but for now, I'm really happy with that. I'm really impressed with that. What do you think, Charlie? Somebody in the comments led me to believe that a table with 3 legs does not wobble, but this table does wobble. Although it is stable enough and it's good enough to use. The only problem I've got with this table now is that it looks like a big giant tongue. Thanks for that, Kyle. Let's go to the outro. So that was Instruction Aces, or just Instruction, featuring the Champion Deck Series by Dan Williams, link in bio. What a beautiful deck of playing cards. I'll be back soon to talk about the Pink Advocates in great detail. I'll also talk a little bit about these little beauties too. I've also got a very special bit of refurbishment happening in one of the rooms that I showed you in the previous video. So I'm going to show you that as soon as I can. I've got some incredible LED lights that are going to surround this whole place. I'm going to film that process and I'm going to share that with you in the next video. So stay tuned, make sure you subscribe so your notification bell does a ding ding every time I drop a new tutorial. These are the pink Madison Advocates, these are the Sky Advocates, this is the Champion Deck Series 1 by Dan Williams. That's Charlie Madison. This was Instruction Aces, or just the instruction. I am Daniel Madison. See you next time.